Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Summit VB fan feed. It is a pleasure to have you with us. My name is Jeremy. I'll be your host on this journey through the 2026 Summit League volleyball season, which I feel should be a tremendous season. Yeah, the Summit should be loaded this year. We have a ton of talent returning. We have some really, really good teams. And I'll make a prediction right now. I think this will be the third consecutive year that the Summit League will get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. That's how good and deep the Summit League should be this year, and I can't wait to be with you on this journey. Now, I won't hide some things. I am an NDSU fan first and foremost. I'll be a Summit League fan of everyone else after NDSU, but it will be Bison first for me. Now, let's get a few disclaimers out there. First and foremost, I am terrible, and I mean terrible, at pronouncing names. I put really bad on there, and that's the truth. I am really bad at pronouncing names, so I will apologize to everyone in advance. I will make a ton of mistakes on this show. I lack volleyball knowledge. 6'2", 5'1", 4'2" offense. Yeah, if you're sitting next to me and you ask me what offense they're running, I'll be like, I have no clue. You're going to need to help me along the way. I see no wrong in NDSU. Yeah, no pressure, Coach Lopez. I feel like you should win every match. What's going on? My wife says I have a face for radio. That's why I'll try to stay in the background as much as possible. And shout out to my wife, Nicole. We've been married for over 20 years. On the way back from the Summit League basketball championships in Sioux Falls, I asked her the question. I said, okay, the season is over. We've watched men's basketball, women's basketball, football, and volleyball. What did you enjoy the most? And she said, by far and away, volleyball. So guess what we get to do this upcoming year? We're going to go on even more road trips watching college volleyball, and I'm very excited for that. So thank you to my wife, Nicole, for the support, and thank you for attending all the games with me, of course. Now, let's talk about what got me into this, to have the passion to want to do a show and create a feed about Summit League volleyball. I have three big influencers that kind of help move the needle. Number one, shout out to Brian. He is the former public address announcer at North Dakota State. I had not been to a volleyball match since 1999. That's when I actually knew some of the players. Well, he took over the job as the PA announcer at North Dakota State probably in around 2015, and he started sending a group of us a text all the time saying, hey, you have to come to a match. You have to come to a match. The teams are good. The players are good. It's exciting. It's fun. Well, it took about 5 years and 100 text messages to finally get myself, my wife, my daughter, and one of her friends down the road to go to a match. And after that, we were hooked. We were fans. And then once we no longer had to drive the kids around as a taxi cab, we got season tickets, and the rest is history. So shout out to Brian. His passion and his recruiting ability to try to get fans to come to the matches got me to the arena and to the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse. And yeah, I'm now a huge fan, of course. Next shout out is to, I think it's Coyote. I'm going to try to pronounce that properly, but Coyote on volleytalk.com, All-American poster. Every single year, creates Summit League feeds on the site and provides insights, stats, and data that just got me excited. So thank you to Coyote for all the posts you made out there, because I'm a numbers guy. I'm not an X and O guy. I don't understand some of the stuff, but I'm a numbers guy. And when you present the numbers, I get excited, and it really helped fuel my passion for the sport and wanting more information of what to expect when it comes to volleyball. And then third, and this was just kind of the icing on the cake, and it was a thank you note. We made a small donation to North Dakota State somewhere along the way in October, November, when they did I think it was a Giving Day type of campaign. And my wife and I, we had made donations, let's call it like $500 to her alma mater in the past. And all we'd get in return is those self-addressed envelopes or something. The return stamps is, I guess, what it was, along with more envelopes to send in more donations. But the connection and the feeling of appreciation that we got for the donation to the North Dakota State volleyball program, we're like, hey, let's support these people a little more. And that's what part of this show is too, is a little more support and appreciation for the volleyball players and teams out there in the Summit League. Okay, commitments for this feed. I will promote and support every program in the Summit League. This is not just going to be a North Dakota State show. I hope that's 100% clear, even though the North Dakota State banner is behind me. I am going to be promoting every single program, talking about every single program in the Summit League. And I am going to take my personal bias, or attempt to take my personal bias, out of everything by creating models for my match and player projections. Yes, I like to use technology. Well, I try to anyway. I'm not great at technology, but I try to create models, and I do this for something else in life. So, yes, I am going to be posting every single match, the projections that the computer will have for this. I've already done that with the home court edge, and you'll see that with the player projections coming out in the near future. I will try to support every single positive post that I can find out there. So I'll like and repost and retweet stuff when it comes to positive coverage related to Summit League Volleyball. We need more of it. Yes, I know there's some great coverage at South Dakota, at South Dakota State, at Omaha. I wish some of the other markets had a little more. They're good in season, but we need to get more out of season coverage for volleyball, because I'm curious what's going on in the portal, what's going on with spring volleyball. Let's talk about volleyball more year round than we are right now. And I'm going to help try to promote that. And hopefully you guys will create a following to help create our rally of retweets, I'm going to call it, as we try to promote coverage of college volleyball and Summit League volleyball out there. I'm going to try to find a co-host as soon as possible that can provide the knowledge. So if there's somebody that really knows college volleyball, Summit League volleyball, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Ideally, maybe if you're a former player in the Summit League, that'd be great, of course. That would be fun to have. I will stay open to feedback, ideas, and suggestions from the community. Yes, this is, once again, going to be a community decision here on a lot of what we do. So please be a part of that. And then once again, I will do my best to try to help fill the media void for some Summit League volleyball coverage. Super fans craving more coverage like I want. So yes, we will post as much as possible out there when it comes to Summit League volleyball, 365 days a year and not just during the season. Here's my zero budget wish list. I would love to have somebody step up and want to be a co-host for a weekly show. The weekly show will start probably in August as we get into the exhibition matches, and then into the non-conference, then, of course, into league play after that. And then hopefully after that, once again, we'll be talking about the NCAA tournament and some teams there. So if somebody wants to step up, raise their hand, and talk to me about being a co-host for a weekly show, I'd love to hear from you. I'd also love to have some team insiders. You can be either on the screen or off the screen. But if you are really connected to a program, you have a good pulse on the program, you kind of know some things within the program and understand the game, I'd love to have you reach out to me and potentially be a team insider. Once again, it can either be on the screen or off the screen, just kind of funneling information to me so I understand more about what's going on with that team. I'm also looking for some pay it forward community leaders. What's that? It's ideas. I'm kind of an idea guy. It's like, okay, if I stumbled upon $500 and didn't know what to do with it, how could I best support volleyball and grow volleyball? And one idea that I had was crazy is maybe I buy $500 worth of tickets and give them to, daycare kids, their parents, and the employees at the daycare, and try to get them all to come out to a game. And I thought that was a way of maybe paying it forward and helping grow the game. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, is if we did at some point raise some money on this particular show, how could we use it to do some positive things around Summit League volleyball? And I'd like some people potentially to have a voice in that, to come up with some good ideas and figure out how we could accomplish something positive with this platform. Recruiting and transfer portal researcher. Yes, I purchased a subscription to PrepDig and stuff like that, but it is tough to find the recruiting information that I'd like to be posting out there. So if somebody does have better connections on that front, I'd love to hear that. And then the portal, I don't have access to it. I wish I did. I would love to know who's in and where they're going right away, but I'm at the mercy of sites like Volley Talk to help me find out about things after the fact. Because I'm not great on Instagram and I don't see all the posts right away, of course. But if somebody wants to kind of raise their hand and volunteer to be one of the researchers on that front, that'd be greatly appreciated. I do use AI, but if somebody's good at graphic design, creative help, I'm definitely open to those conversations and getting other people involved in that process to create some good graphics that may be accepted here in our community. And once again, anybody who, and this is basically everyone, because everyone's smarter than me when it comes to volleyball, but if you're passionate about Summit League volleyball and you think there's something you could do, reach out to me. Tell me how you could help, and I'd love to get you involved in the equation. And this kind of ties into number 7 as well. Passionate Summit League volleyball fans. You just watching this is step one, because that means you're passionate about Summit League Volleyball. But if there's something that you could give for recommendations or help in any way, once again, reach out to me as well, because once again, we're trying to build something fun for the community while shining more light on Summit League Volleyball is, I guess, what I put on the screen there. What's next for this feed? As schedules continue to come out, I will be breaking down schedules and given projections based on the 2025 Massey numbers. May incorporate some of the KPI numbers as well, projecting who's going to win, who's going to lose, who took on the toughest schedule, who has a cupcake schedule, what was good for the Summit, what was bad for the Summit on the schedule front. We'll break that down on a future show. Roster breakdowns. Yes, I got burned on this a little bit because rosters change after the spring, of course. So once the final fall rosters are posted, we'll go through a roster breakdown with each and every team, talking about who's back, who's gone, and who the newcomers are, and hopefully have an idea of who's going to have a big impact on the upcoming season. We'll go through final portal in-out lists across the Summit League. I will redo my top 20 returning player list, basically update the data once the final rosters have been posted. Then I'll also post a top 10 incoming player list. Those are 5 shows that I can guarantee you will happen before we get to the exhibition season in August. So those are things that I will accomplish over the summer months. Summit League Volleyball fan, where do you find us? You can email me anytime, SummitVBFan@gmail.com. The podcast will be dropping soon. This will be a simulcast every time. That will be called Summit VB Fan. YouTube, you can follow us at Summit VB Fan. Discord, yes, we're going to have a Discord. Yeah, it may only be me and like 2 other people for the first year, but if it's more than that, that'll be great. There's the invite link to join the Summit VB Fan Discord. I like that. I ended up I wasn't a Discord guy until this past year, and I just got into the Discord, and I really feel the conversations flow so easy on a Discord. So I'm enjoying the Discord. So we're going to have a Discord here for the Summit VB Fan feed here as well. So join us on the Discord. Instagram, that's a work in progress. My wife will probably take that one over, but that'll be Summit VB Fan as well. Try to be consistent with the naming convention so you can find us. And once again, more coverage, more conversation, more volleyball. That's the Summit VB Fan mission. Thank you for joining this overview show and kind of why I started the show and where we want to go with it. But yeah, I think we're going to have some fun with this. I know right now, as I record this today, like 36 followers on X, 2 on YouTube. I think we'll grow during the course of the year. So thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting Summit League Volleyball. And can't wait to have you in the feed and join us across the platform. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.